Okay, bye. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I'm not sure what happened. I can't even explain this one. Did you guys get the same message Stephen did, that there was another meeting in process?
No, mine was just waiting for.
Yeah, mine was the same as Frank's.
Okay, so I can't explain it.
Oh, well.
Hello, everyone.
You're muted, Stephen.
Thank you. We have a quorum, so at 5:38, I call the meeting to order. And currently we have Anna Cook, Frank McGinn, Jeff Quackenbush, myself, Stephen Dalmas, Becky Torres as members of the committee. And we have a guest, Mary Lou Conca. Okay. So we have some minutes I think we can review. Let's see, 4/5, 5/10, and 5/24. Jeff, were you able to look at the ones from 4/5? That was the meeting that we had at Town Hall, and that was just the three of us, plus Becky, Frank, yourself, and myself, when we were talking about the Gale proposal, and we made some adjustments to it.
No, I did not see those meeting minutes.
They were mailed 3 meetings ago.
Well, that's why. That's too far back in my mind. I'll assume you did a good job of taking down meeting minutes.
It was a brief thing. That was when we had trouble and there was just the three of us, but yeah.
Out there in the field?
Yeah, no, we were down in the basement.
No, okay, yeah, but then we went outside too. Okay,
Yeah, that was the time we just, we called Cole
yeah,
and talked to him in his car.
That was when we, you had noted, Jeff, that the gutter was not showing on the south side of the building.
mhm,
There was the diverter strips, which we decided to remove. We
Right.
added putting the gutter on.
Yeah.
I had noticed something about, I think they were calling for, if they have to replace the tongue and groove fascia behind that 2x3 trim strip, they had said it was going to be PVC, and that's going to be wood. And then there was one other comment that I had that was added.
okay.
Did you remember anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, so I guess we can vote to approve the minutes from 4/5. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Jeff, do you want a second?
Yeah, I guess I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? McGinn,
Aye.
Quackenbush?
Aye.
Dalmas, aye. Okay, and then minutes that Frank sent out today from the 10th. Anybody have any additional comments on those?
No, look fine to me.
Anna?
No comments.
Okay, so do I hear a motion to accept the minutes from May 10th?
I make the motion to accept the minutes from May 10.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote. Cook,
Aye.
McGinn,
Aye.
Quackenbush,
Aye.
Dalmas, aye. Okay, and then last week, Frank sent out the minutes from the 24th of May.
Mhm.
Anybody have any comments regarding those? Additional
They
comments?
look fine to me. I
Anna?
make a motion, we approve them.
Okay, second,
Second.
roll call vote. Cook,
Aye.
McGinn,
Aye.
Quackenbush,
Aye.
Dalmas, aye. Okay. So item 2 is review the meeting notes from the Gale Associate and Contractor meeting. That was the one that you had with, that you were at, Jeff, and I think, were you there, Becky, too?
Yep. Oh, boy. Who froze? Nobody? Okay. A little paranoid.
So what's the question?
Well, I guess, you were there and there were,
Today? We
Pardon?
talking about today's meeting?
no, this was one that
Last week.
I think a
weeks
few
ago.
weeks ago.
Or was it last week?
I don't think it
Last
was,
week, it was last week.
no, but there was a meeting that you had
It was 2 weeks ago.
with the contractor and
Yeah,
with,
that was 2 weeks ago.
and I think you were kind of ironing out things. So just to note that Steve Sullivan has joined the meeting. Hi, Steve.
Yeah, that was a meeting with the designer and the contractor, and then we had another meeting this morning. Reviewed the meeting minutes from that previous meeting. And just about everything was closed from that meeting, other than Becky, you got to send a copy of the contract to Gail. Do you remember that?
And
And
the
then I
plan.
also asked Cole to make sure he issues a request for proposal to add that little piece of flashing behind the PVC trim that we're putting at the top. He hasn't done that yet. But everything else we picked the shingle colors, as you all know, they had to go to the second color. We approved the sample for the color for the metal, which basically matches what's already there. The contractor is going in a different direction around the building than we thought. And in
It has
fact,
to do with counter and clockwise and not really knowing which was which.
yeah, he's not good at counterclockwise and clockwise. But right now they're working on the east side. And he says they're gonna then move to the south side, then the west side, then the north side. I don't put any money on that's the direction that he's gonna be going, but so far they're doing fine. I think if they did everything that they were supposed to do today, they have all of the east side done.
No, I'm doing something.
So the one question I have is, remember when we met out there before, I guess it was that day that Jeff and I met out there and did our walk around, and there was that area
I know, I
at
know.
the base of the valley above the front entry on the right side.
Yeah,
And that was something.
yeah, we
that-
still need to remind them to put a gutter box there.
Okay, so that's,
We talked about that, but so far Cole has not issued a directive.
okay. So can you touch base with them on that, Jeff?
Yeah, I'll contact Cole.
Okay, well, that sounds good. So they're underway then.
Yeah, and then we had a meeting this morning with
Mhm.
Cole, Becky, me, and the contractor. So far they had found no bad plywood. So far they haven't found, from what I could see, they haven't found any rot behind where the new PVC trim's put going.
Right.
The shingles look good. They're generally they're being pretty clean when it comes to the tear off. We found a few nails scattered about, but I've seen much messier sites than that. So they're proceeding well. There's, they're hoping they might work Saturday. Depends on the weather.
They were here
problem-
last Saturday.
Yeah, they're probably only gonna get half or 2/3 of the day tomorrow with the storms coming in tomorrow afternoon.
And it sounded like he was saying it wasn't worth coming out for half a day. So I'll keep my eye and see if they do show up tomorrow.
Okay.
Rain's due to start at 11 a.m.
Oh, they moved it up. Okay,
But it's, yeah,
okay.
it's only 30% until 2 p.m. But lightning starts at 1 p.m. Oh, no, it starts at noon. We probably
Okay.
won't see him tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay. So then moving to number 3, review and vote on Gale Associates proposal for the Shutesbury Elementary School repairs, replacement of trim and fascia. You want to run through that with us, Jeff? I remember those.
Yeah, we walked Cole around the building, explained to him, what our goal is.
Mhm.
And, in terms of, should we replace the wood? What I'm gonna call the pink wood? Or should we, cover it with a different material? So they've given us a proposal to, do field investigation and make some recommendations as well as preliminary cost estimates. Their proposal also then went further and took us all the way through design and construction, but right now, I think we should just be discussing hiring for the study phase. And then after we get a study done from them, then we'll go and see if we can get a proposal also from the firm up in Greenfield. So we talked to Cole this morning and said, if the committee this evening agrees to that, then we'll notify them tomorrow and they can start that process.
So if I remember correctly, the number for that was that 9,000 or 9,500?
Hold on.
You want me to put the bid up on screen?
Sure.
A lot of it from the cheap sheet.
We've got a lot
98.
of helpers tonight.
Yes, 800 plus reimbursable.
Maybe students, I don't know.
Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay, so that's the top, project description, scope. And we're talking about the evaluation of services, and the pricing is down here, right?
It's a.
Yeah.
Person's page 4.
So we're talking about the $9,800 fee.
Plus a certain amount of reimbursable for
Plus-
hazmat.
Okay,
For hazmat.
In case they find anything that's suspect when they tear it apart.
and Cole was suggesting that he could couple it with one of the roof. He's gonna come up out every week. So he was gonna bring another designer, another engineer with him.
Next
and
Wednesday,
work
I think, yeah, right.
If this gets approved.
And Becky, currently, what do we have now as far as funds in the bank, so to speak, for the?
With the new transfer, we should have about 40,000. Make sure. Mhm.
So we have enough money to fund the first part.
Yes. Okay, so we have 41,125.18.
And what's our commitment for the windows?
Both windows, it's about $5,000.
Yeah, I think it's more like 6.
Yeah, it's closer.
I think it's 5 and change.
So say we have 35,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm a little, I guess I just need a little more explanation. And maybe you can give us that, Jeff. What will Cole be doing for the $10,000?
They're going to, one, do a little bit more thorough investigation of the existing condition out there. But then also give us a few recommendations on should we cover the pink? Or should we replace the pink? And if we cover the pink, what do we cover it with? So they're gonna give us a few options and cost estimates.
So covering it, the pink would probably be cheaper than removing it and adding something else.
Yeah, I think that's what his opinion was, but he couldn't prove it until they actually did it. And also, they were gonna give us an idea on what they recommend to use. We had talked about the hardy hardy, whatever the heck it's called.
Yeah, well, then we talked about the solid dimensional plastic. I think we had sort of shifted to that because that would be consistent with the solid dimensional plastic trim that's being put on now, correct?
Mm-hmm. And then we talked about with him replacing all the bad on the bump outs on the south side. And he concurred that that's a good solution.
So if the recommendation was that we remove the existing pink fascia material, then we're already applying the new PVC and the gutter over onto the existing pink fascia, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, and if I remember correctly, the way the drip edge and gutter are installed, they go on before the roof shingles. I
Yeah.
remember. So to replace the existing pink fascia,
We
would be-
may have to cut below the PVC, or maybe their recommendation would be leave the pink and cover it with something.
yeah, well, I mean, I think, given what we saw when you and I were out there, Jeff, the pink fascia is overall not in terrible shape. A lot of it, the issues are that it's cupped and weathered, but it's not rotted except in some isolated places. So it would seem that covering it would be a reasonable and most cost-effective approach.
Yep. And that could be what their study tells us, but would make a recommendation on what to cover it with and how to do it.
Okay.
Wait, I gotta get a dog. Hold on. What are you clowns doing? Sorry about that.
Okay. So the evaluation services, they're going to give us recommendations after they analyze in more depth, maybe especially back where on the south side where the green painted trim is rotted. Are we assuming that they're going to open some of that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff,
So go ahead, Becky.
I'm just wondering, so So I know so I pushed back on the pricing last time and we ended up sticking with our $60,000 figure or a little bit less. Do you view this job, Jeff, as similar in complexity as to the roof project or
Yeah.
less complex?
I would say similar.
Okay.
Anna, what do you think?
Who are you asking?
Anna?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I don't know, everything's, the last couple years have just been so wonky with pricing that I'm just sort of resigned to it all at this point.
Yeah.
And
I'm
they're gonna
just
have to,
wondering if I should push back at all, because it is, I know some of these, it won't come out that much. It's, it's time and expense. So the numbers might come in much lower, but we'd still have to budget for 78.5.
Or
and right now, we're only looking at doing this evaluation part, not the
Right.
whole contract.
Sure, so that could be a bit of a test to see how the numbers come in compared to the budget.
Yeah. Because I think we need, in my opinion, we need a document from Gail or somebody that kind of says we went through the analysis, we looked at different options, we got some preliminary budget information, and this is why we can justify asking the town for compensation to do the project.
And you
You know,
think we can do
we did
that?
our due diligence. Now, after we get the study from Gail, then we'll go to the other architectural firm and see how much their proposal is for taking us the rest of the way.
Mhm.
And then we'll compare the numbers.
Okay,
And at that time, I think you can beat Gail up.
all right.
But I guess is the question, will they do the same work for less money? Are we beating them up in that way? Or is there a question to be asked about like if all the scope is necessary or a scope change that could reduce the budget, or their
Mhm.
work or behavior on our part that would help keep the cost lower? Like, is there something we can do or some way we can act during this process that would help keep it more efficient to therefore lower the budget?
Well, what they did, just so you're all aware. So what he basically, Chris, made Cole the primary instead of himself. That's how he came with lower numbers. So Cole is, brand new, taking on projects as a lead, not as experienced as Musso, who can be, I guess, from what Jeff has said, a real killer. If needed. So I think there was, and I think that made a difference in the pricing.
Sure.
So it was a trade-off at a cost
Sure.
but Cole's done a really good job. So I think, and Jeff is always there to nudge him when he's not.
I think so far Cole's, is a young engineer. I think he's also, because this is one of his first few projects, he's going a little bit beyond probably what his bosses want him to do. So I think we're getting a little bit more service.
Okay.
Yeah, he he was there at 8 for a 9 o'clock meeting. He's
He got there at 8.
He what?
Yeah. Because I asked him, what time did you leave Boston? He said 5:15.
Yeah, so he's putting in the time.
Okay.
So I think it worked out for both parties.
Hey, anyone have any other comments regarding having Cole or Gail do the evaluation services part of this proposal? So do I hear a motion that we have Gale Associates perform the evaluation services of this contract for $9,800 plus an estimate of reimbursables up to $4,000?
Okay, I'll make that motion. I'm not going through all those words again, but I'll make that motion.
Just say so moved.
There you go.
I second.
Okay, roll call vote. Cook,
Yes, yeah, sorry. Words.
got you. McGinn,
Aye.
Quackenbush,
Ah, yes.
Sullivan,
Oh, we can't hear you, Steve. Muted.
Sullivan, yes.
Dalmas, aye. Okay,
Good, we're getting closer.
So then Becky, do you want to contact Cole? Because you said
Yeah.
you need to do it instead of me. So, okay.
Okay, I'll do it right now.
okay. So the next thing, review the inspection of the West Schoolhouse number 2 and assign action levels. So a question came up when we were there doing the inspection. Why is it schoolhouse number 2? Anybody know the answer to that?
I can't answer it, but go ahead. You already told me.
So early in the life of Shutesbury,
We have a
There-
question?
there were 5 schools.
No, 5?
There were
Yep.
5 small schools. The first one was where Town Hall is. The second one, 3 and 4, I'm not sure of the exact location, but number 5 is still existing, and it's at the corner of Baker and Schoolhouse Road, and it now belongs to Sirius. So when I went back to look at the roof with the ladder, Bert had found this document that was hanging on the wall just as you went in the door that showed the 5 schoolhouses and their location. Okay.
And were there 5 at all at the same time?
I think
Yeah.
so. And I think it was, at different parts of Shutesbury, if you think, it was horse and buggy where kids were walking.
Yeah.
So I assume that was the reason for the 5 at the different location.
Okay.
Okay, maybe, well, I sent, I think it was actually before the last meeting, I sent to everyone the spreadsheet section for West Schoolhouse number 2, which I filled out
Right.
in terms of noting things. And so we need to assign action levels, but I wanted to also see if anybody had any comments about how I was doing that. And maybe Frank could be allowed to share the screen, Becky, and he could put that up.
Oh, yeah. Where did, oh, my participants disappeared. And I apologize, but I again have to bump you guys off at 6:30 for the assessors. I hope that's okay.
Okay.
Here we are.
Okay, so one of the things that I thought about was if you look to 1.3 and 1.4, where there are gutters and downspouts, under comments, previously, if there were no gutters and downspouts, it was just being left blank. But I thought putting just the dash there sort of indicated that it's being acknowledged. And then if you go to action level, it's not applicable. The other possibility is under comments, I could just put none. And I was wondering what people thought about that in terms of someone, looking at it, say from the select board or any other individual who might look at it.
I think we need more than just the little dash. I kind of like the none, but should it be maybe none existing as opposed to just none?
It could be non-existing. So then when you get down to say electrical or heating, just put non-existing.
Okay, yeah, now we're getting ridiculous. Let's just go with none. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Any other thoughts? Now, in some cases, for instance, I think if we go to the, on the exterior to front door or door. Let's see. So for
2.5.
instance, yeah, the front door, I didn't have anything to say about that. So I just put the dash there. How do you feel about that?
With no comment or just,
Yeah,
and-
to me, I think the dash is just confusing. I mean, I guess I would prefer a word.
How about no concerns noted or
Or no issue.
no comment or?
no issue, no
concerns.
yeah, no concerns,
What'd
Yeah.
you say, Anna?
I was agreeing with Frank.
no concerns.
Okay.
Well, when you want to go back to porch. So when you say no concern for porch, that implies there is one. There isn't.
Frank's just adding that. There should be,
yeah.
that should be none. Then front door would be no concerns.
Right.
Okay. Well, that can all be changed.
Yep, there you go.
So I guess maybe we could talk about, so then I think earlier this week, I sent out a file with photos from the inspection. People have a chance to look at those.
I was not able to open any of those. So what's the
One was
secret?
Yeah, one was in a zip file, so I had to go through the zip file. I don't know why it came over that way. What, are you on a PC or a Mac?
Mac.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh,
APC.
were you able to open them, Anna?
Yep, I've got them here. They open easily on my iPhone for what it's worth.
Well, maybe, because I'm working on a Mac desktop.
These are cool. I've never been in the schoolhouse. It's cool to see the photos. You know, this
It's
is
fun. It was fun to be there because the seats up front were real little and the ones in the back were bigger.
It's a house.
It's the old schoolhouse.
So Frank, you
School.
on a PC?
No, I'm a Mac.
Okay, so I assume you didn't have any problem opening them?
I had a problem opening one of them, but I opened up the zip drive and when I opened the zip drive, I had a problem opening. When I opened up, there were two that were sent. One I could open, one I couldn't.
When you say two, I sent one file with all of the photos in it.
Yeah, I have to look at that.
Well, maybe you could share the file, then Jeff could see what,
Gotta get that up now. Hold on a second.
Well, I'm more concerned about people, select board and others being able to open those later.
no, I understand, but
Yeah.
Frank is the whiz kid as far as, figuring that out.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is I started at the town Google email or our system doesn't allow storage of photos, probably because of the volume. So I went and just opened a business Gmail account, which gives us 15 gigs or something like that. And I'll share the passwords with the buildings committee and they can all add and subtract it. And then when that fills up, we'll add another one, buildings 2 and 3, whatever, because it's free. Because we still want to get into just using hyperlinks for the data, because some people can visually see the stuff and site, the select board could go out and visually see the rot on the exterior of that building, or
But before you bring the file up with it,
so.
can you
So,
open that file that I sent?
okay, that's the one I've got to get. Yeah, give me a minute. I got to find that. So,
And can you, while you're looking for that, can you go back to the inspection spreadsheet?
Yeah.
So when Frank brings the photos up, so if you look at 2.2 for the wood trim, you'll see I identified 2 areas of rot and decay. And then I said there was number 1, that was at the base of the front door. And then further down, there's number 2, that's in the corner boards at the northwest corner. So if you have, say, if we have the hyperlink like is showing right now over to the right of that, then as photos come up, you have to be able to know which ones relate to the first area and the second area. So when I sent the file to Frank with the photos, I identified each photo as, in this case, I think it was 2.21, and I might have had two for that. So it was 2.21A and 2.21B. And the question is, what is the simplest way that people will understand to be able to know which photo goes to which part of the comment?
and I'll be honest with you. Now I remember this. I had a hard time opening it on my computer, but I did open and look at everything and copy and send them.
Well,
As is.
maybe I can, if I can become the person sharing, I could open it up.
You want me to get you sharing?
Yes.
1 second.
Okay.
I think Frank just needs to take his down.
Yeah, you can close that, Frank. Okay, let's see. How do I do a?
Actually,
Working on it.
I dragged all the photos into that Gmail account. I can show you those, but I can't bring. Oh, there you go.
Everybody see this?
Yeah.
All right, so remember I was talking about the trim. So if you look, these are all the images that I thought were worth having in the report. And not to say more couldn't be added, but so you can see how it starts 1.1A, 1.1B. So 1.1A is about the roof. So that's the front side of the roof, and then 1.1B, that's the back side. And then, there are comments related to that. But going down to the wood trim, so the first wood trim area of concern was at the front door. And this is the left side. You can see my screwdriver there in the rotted area. And then 2.21B, this is the other side. So the question is, when someone reads the comment in the report, what's the best way for people to be able to understand which photo goes with it? So I guess the first question is, what do people think of this method?
So can't we just in the comment after the first one put like in parentheses 2.2-1A, and after the second comment that you've already identified to put down in parentheses 2.2-2B or whatever the heck it is?
Are you
So
talking
that,
about in the comment have the ID numbers that I have here, so when somebody pulls that photo up, they pull the right one up.
correct.
Okay. So it'd be like where I have, say, comment 1 under 2.2, right after 1, I could put 2.21A and 2.21B.
Probably, or say, maybe say photo 2.2-1B, something like that.
Anybody else have any thoughts?
It's how you're sharing the photos is my thing, is that's on your desktop.
Right.
And it alphabetizes them. When you bring them over to photos in a Google.com, it doesn't alphabetize them. It just shows you the pictures. And I haven't figured a way to alphabetize them like you're seeing them here. It only shows them as a physical picture. When you click on that physical picture, it will tell you the info is 1.5.
Okay, so that's going to be the say the trick at the moment.
Right.
Right. But so within the report, I could, as Jeff suggested, put at some point in there with the comment, the photo ID. Okay.
Yes. Whatever that means.
Yeah. So it looks like we have 10 minutes. We could go back to Frank sharing and pull up the report, and we could assign a few action levels for the West Schoolhouse.
Okay.
So do I need to
Stop what you're doing yet?
Okay.
Those are all the fun pictures I downloaded.
Okay, action level for the roof.
Monitor.
You wouldn't want to clean the debris off of it?
I'll leave that up to you.
Well, I mean, I'd go low priority.
Okay. If it's not leaking, it seems in good shape. Yep.
Flashing, monitor, or
Monitor, yep.
So if it helps keep the mice and other critters out of the building, is that low priority or high priority?
Let's go high priority.
Yeah, because I think doing high priority will match the other trims on the other side, and then they can fix it all at once. They can find their own monies.
It sounds like you found enough signs of the critters in there as it is,
Yeah,
between the bat guano and everything else.
Yeah, well, the back guano was in the attic and the screening on the attic vent is intact. But I think that probably most likely was the entry point, although they could be getting in through that opening and ending up in the attic.
Mhm.
So chimney's in pretty nice shape, so that would, I
Yep.
think, be a monitor. So if I remember correctly, the only place that needed painting or where paint was peeling was right next to the where the rotted corner boards were at the front. So that would be taken care of along with the trim or the corner board replacement, the other wood replacement. So maybe that's just monitor.
I did 17 plus 17.
this is where we had 2 decays where we put the screwdriver in. It should be monitor high, then they can address all the other holes.
Jeff, when I went back to look at the roof with the ladder, I was able to carefully reform the braided copper coming down from the lightning arrestor at that corner
Uh-huh.
to create a drip loop.
Good.
What do you think, monitor?
Yeah, they all looked in good shape, especially the shutters.
Mhm.
So that ought to be a high priority.
Yeah, that's the angle was backsplashing, and once they fix everything, we'd like to stop backsplashing. Yep.
Low priority, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a low priority.
Yeah, I agree.
Monitor?
Monitor. They can't.
Mhm.
Either that or cut all the trees down.
Yeah.
I think some of those trees actually belong to the neighbors, so you need to be careful before cutting any trees there.
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that when I looked at that site. Like, I have a feeling it's a very small piece of property.
Yeah, it's very close to the outline of the building, I believe. We'll have to.
Okay,
Right.
if you look at the heating, where I have, under comments, no heating. And how do you feel about then just having dashes under that? Because, it's pretty, if there's no heating system,
That's
Sure.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm good.
all right,
Well,
and then this,
Could I, going back to the tree thing, in case other boards are going to be reading this without one of us there to comment on it, do we want to add a note on the trees that trees may be owned by neighbors? Just add the context that's why we'd want to monitor and clean the roof more than pursue a permanent solution with the trees.
yeah, I can do that, Frank. You don't have to.
Yeah,
worry about
good. Yep. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I talked to Leslie Braceridge last year about this because the trees have been bugging me since before I started with the highway department. And she said that the perimeter was at one point 50-foot square all around the building. But she said, she's noted that the roads have moved closer and closer to the building. So, and it's never been surveyed. So there aren't any of our own pins. But she said it was 50 by 50. And the tree warden was gonna look into taking down some of the trees around the exterior of the building.
The old tree warden or the new one?
The new one.
Good.
So Steve, are you saying
You
that
have to be careful.
there had been a 50-foot buffer from, say, that would be the east wall and the south wall?
Or are you saying the whole
What
lot's?
Leslie was saying was if you measured from the road going
Oh.
up West Pelham and on Leverett Road, it was 50 feet from the edge of the road, but the road, so it's gonna be less than that now because both roads have been widened.
I see. So the
Okay.
lot essentially was 50 feet from the road in each direction.
That's
Yes.
correct. It could be just like the church now where it's the drip line of the rear walls are the property line.
Yep, the same with the old town hall.
Okay. So
2
I
minutes.
guess actually, I could add, say, where it's no heating and not applicable under action level, where I have just the dash for the burner, just do dashes all the way down.
Sure.
Okay, all right. Then if you see there, for basement crawl space, I put 10.1 and 10.3 to 10.12, couldn't be evaluated. I mean, I know
Right.
there's no sump pump, I know there's no stairs, and I can tell from the outside there's no ventilation, but I can't check any of the other things, so.
Oh, we had people go in, the old building committee, they were accessing the crawl space.
How'd they get there?
They
'Cause I-
crawled in.
Well, they
From
must.
where?
I think there's a stone you can move on the north side.
No, we didn't go
Oh,
moving
no,
any
I could
stones.
find it, because I know they were going in and out, because we had, part of the project was to reinforce the joists.
Well, if you can identify it, then could take a look. I was looking inside for a trap door through the
No,
floor.
they access from the outside.
Okay,
Okay,
Okay.
so is this a very small opening? So we have to send Anna in there?
No, it's just 6:30 now, and I'll be live in a second. Okay.
Okay.
How I
Yeah.
got my job originally, crawl spaces and attics.
okay, it sounds like
spaces are
we
you.
need to close the meeting.
My apologies.
Okay, see everyone in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.